analysts are speculating that this new electric car feature is going to cause, as in fist fights, punch-ups, people getting smashed, because people are going to be furious that you've taken something you shouldn't have taken. And I can kind of see what they mean. On the 24th of May 2022, General Motors patented a dual charging port design, as in having two chargers on the one car. However, interestingly, BYD was already producing or about to produce their own electric car that had this exact feature. Now, even though BYD is incredibly good at making EVs, and it's clearly going to be the highest selling electric car manufacturer within the next few years. Well, I think it will anyway. I think that's pretty fair to say. Its version of GM's design leaves a lot to be desired. It's like a great idea, hasn't really been implemented all that well. Now, that's what I think, but maybe I'm missing something. I mean, I must be, surely. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. I'm the Electric Viking. BYD, we've just seen a very interesting image here. This was provided by carnewschina.com. It shows two big cables. They're big cables. I mean, they're certainly not NACS chargers cables that they use in China. Anyway, you can see it's got a dual charging port. Now, this vehicle here is called the Denza N7. It's a fully electric car, not a plug-in hybrid, fortunately for the owner of the car. But anyway, these photos are actually coming from a Chinese YouTube channel. The guy does some great reviews of Chinese EVs. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. You should check it out for sure. Now, the guy, he doesn't get dressed up to do his reviews, but that doesn't mean he doesn't do a good job. He really does. Now, the Denza N7 is, it's a Denza, but actually, no, it's actually a BYD. Denza is a company that used to be a 50-50 joint venture partnership between Mercedes-Benz and BYD. And then BYD was like, nah, I don't think we're going to do anything. And they did almost nothing. They brought out a car after they bought out Mercedes. So Mercedes-Benz were more than happy to sell the majority of the ownership of the company, or the percentage that they had. So now it ends up being BYD owns 90% and Mercedes-Benz own 10%. When that happened, all of a sudden, BYD releases 3 new electric cars within a very short period of time under the Denza brand. It's meant to be this premium brand. The reality is it's just sort of like some Lexus cars where you look at it and you go, that's a Toyota. I've seen that before. You just put new badges and some new bodywork on that thing. That's it. That's pretty much what they are. Now, are they bad cars? No, they're not. They're actually pretty good. But I think the BYD version is a lot better value. Anyhow, how much does it actually cost? The single motor rear-wheel drive variant costs around $44,000 US. To give you some context there, the base model variant of the Tesla Model Y costs $36,000. So it's a bit more expensive than a Tesla Model Y, whilst a similar size. It does use BYD's new E-Platform 3.0, and it uses a lithium iron phosphate blade battery pack. It's a big battery pack though, very, very big. It's 91.3 kilowatt hours in size. And that's the big difference between this car and the base model Tesla. The base model Tesla uses about a 60 kilowatt hour LFP blade battery pack, but it does get more range out of BYD's batteries and what BYD gets out of them, which is unusual. Anyhow, range is claimed at 702 kilometers in the rear-wheel drive version, the all-wheel drive version, 630 kilometers. Now that's obviously the CLTC cycle, which is completely unrealistic. Probably real-world range of the rear-wheel drive version would be closer to maybe 550 to 600 kilometers, but it's still very good range. However, the really interesting thing about this car is the battery cooling and the management coupled with the implementation of its structural battery. Plus, obviously they've done some different things with this car to enable it to have dual charging. It's one of the first EV models in the world to get this. So, is it actually working well? Obviously the idea here is to have 2 charging ports in the car so you can charge faster. They can both charge at the same time, charge the battery pack a lot faster. That's the idea. Implementation, it leaves a lot to be desired, to be honest. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, the reason I say that is because, look, the Porsche Taycan, 350 kilowatt charging, EV6, 350, right? Tesla's new Cybertruck, I'm going to guess that it's going to be 350 or more. We've got lots of cars, Hyundai Ioniq 5, 350. We're going to have probably lots of different new models coming with around 350 kilowatt charging. There's already cars in China that charge at over 400 kilowatt, and yet this charges at a maximum of 230 kilowatt using 2 chargers. Now, if you just use one of the chargers, it charges a maximum of 150, but it can't double that number to 300. If you use both charging points, it charges at a maximum speed of 230 kilowatt. Now, I don't think BYD quite got the memo of the entire point of having a dual charging port. General Motors, obviously their plan was, right, have say something like 500 kilowatt charging speed by charging 2 sides of the battery. So one charger would charge half the battery pack, the other charger charges the other half, probably at a speed of around 200, that's my guess, would be around 250 kilowatt, possibly even faster, meaning it will charge extremely fast. The equivalent of 500 kilowatt charging. But this 230, what is the actual point? I mean, you've added all this extra hardware, right? You've added this extra technology, which you've got to pay for as a consumer. BYD's got to pay for it. People have got to pay for it. And it charges at a rate that's just bizarrely slow for a dual charging car. Premium powered. I mean, this is the premium, one of BYD's premium brands. They have a bunch of them now, but this is one of their premium brands, which is why I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, to me, if you're going to have dual charging ports, which I really like the idea, you've got to make it charge a bit quicker than 230 kilowatt when so many of the competition can charge much faster than that with a single charging port. That said, let's focus on what really matters here. That is the ability to charge an EV with 2 charging ports. Now, even though General Motors think they've got a patent on this, that's baloney. There's no way that's going to hold up. Other companies will basically start having similar features. This is too good of an idea to not do it. It's really not that complicated, in my opinion, to separate a battery pack into 2 segments so you can charge one at one point and the other at another. And seeing as it makes so much sense, why would you not do it? Think about it. Theoretically, a Hyundai Ioniq 5 or many EVs which will have 350 kilowatt charging very soon, or ones that already do, could charge possibly at a rate of 700 kilowatt. That would enable you to get a charge from say 20 to 80% in less than 10 minutes. Maybe the solution to mega fast battery pack charging is not trying to massively heat up the batteries, trying to cool the cables, trying to solve all the many problems that we have with charging batteries at mega speeds because it degrades them more than likely when you're charging them at rocket-like speeds. Maybe the solution is just to have 2 charging ports, but just to have them charge a little bit faster than this. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.